Hello, and welcome to Wrangler and BabyDoll's Happy Hour. Missing the baby doll. She's working on a few technical issues here. But we're live on Monday night. Monday Night Football is gone. So BabyDoll said, let's get it going on. Oh, now she's blaming me. That you heard her in the background. But anyway, yes, this was my idea. I thought we should be live every night because I think our viewers are looking for us every night. Now, we got a little complication on the time issue here. So we're going to take votes throughout this deal, whether we should have it at 8 o'clock, which is now, or 7 o'clock every day. So you all put your 10 cents in, and we'll adjust accordingly. My vote is, I really don't care. I think BabyDoll likes 7 o'clock Central Time. And hey, there's BabyDoll. Where'd she come from?
Hey, Melissa. Thanks for helping.
Hi, Melissa. So anyway, we're here again Monday night, and wow, what a weekend of weather, y'all. It started over here in Texas, stretched out all the way up the great states of New York, Pennsylvania, Maine, the whole East Coast, Atlanta, and Georgia. I guess even South Carolina got bit, and still being bit, by the way. Extremely cold out there. We did not go above freezing today, although it might have a little bit south of us. But tomorrow's looking more the same, but I think it's going to get above freezing. So we might melt and might be able to drive or get closer to driving like normal. We actually took a little road trip today, didn't we, honey?
Oh, we got to go to Starbucks. That was driving me crazy. Actually, a neighbor called and she thought that her renters needed some more firewood. So we were headed. You de-iced the plane and got your big old truck all ready.
Yep.
To go try to find some firewood for someone.
Kick the four-wheel drive in.
And they didn't need it.
Or get closer.
So since we were already out, hey, Chris.
Hello,
Dr.
Chris.
Perry.
Dr. Perry.
I love her. I love everybody. Dana. Hey, Dado.
See, everybody's showing up at 8 o'clock.
Fired up and ready to rock.
Everybody's showing up at 8 o'clock. But for those of you who missed it, 7 or 8, what's your choice? 7 Central or 8 Central? To do these every night. We're looking for public sentiment on this.
Can you believe we're going to be on here Monday through Friday? And well, sometime. I guess we'll keep it at 8. It was just a little bit of an adjustment for me.
Because
I fell asleep and took a nap.
And our Wednesday ones were at 8. So, that was a big adjustment.
I woke up a little bit crotchety. Just a little bit.
Anyway, we got Leo down here trying to get some attention. So, I guess sports reports and market reports are going to be kind of hard to do every day, but you know what?
7. I agree, Dr. Perry. 7.
But I'm going to give one anyway. Market went up today. God knows how, but it keeps going up. But, it got me looking at some charts, which I always look at. But, the market really hasn't done much since October. It's been kind of going in a little range. And I'm a S&P 500 guy, so I like to follow the S&P 500. And it stayed between 6,700 and 6,900 since October, late October. But so it's really not doing much. Normally it goes up, but I'm still calling for a correction here, and it's going to happen. It probably won't happen until February, which is, believe it or not, next week. Can you believe it's February already? Next week. What happens in February, honey?
So many things.
Like what?
We're starting Limitless Ladies. We're going to have 8 years sober. And that is our wedding anniversary, February the 14th.
How many years?
7.
I just seen.
Sober 8, 7 married. I totally agree, Dr. Perry. She has to get up and be at work at 5.
Okay. All right.
8's a little late.
8's a little late. 7's on time. We don't want to cut anybody's dinner. But you know what? If you're like us, you'll eat dinner while you're online. You know, I didn't bring any cookies up.
Oh, it's Dr. Perry's birthday in February, too.
Hey, happy birthday.
What day, Dr. Perry? We missed seeing you at the conference. Oh, did you get them a bone?
Yeah, and guess what? They ate it already.
They already ate it? Here, give him this. It's a fluff. Go get the fluff.
Anyway,
See it. Go get it.
we got golden retriever technical difficulties.
What day? 22nd. Okay,
February
we're going to be
22nd.
wishing you a happy birthday soon.
Well, if it's not on a weekend, we'll be online, so we can say happy. We can sing you a birthday song. So anyway, the sports report we go into a little bit. So yesterday, the AFC and NFC conference championships were played. New England beat Denver and Seattle beat the Rams, and it will be New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks in 2 weeks for Super Bowl number 60. Wow. Super Bowl number 60. And I'm old enough to remember almost all of them from like Super Bowl 8 to now. That's scary. But anyway, the game is in San Francisco, and I didn't look at any lines, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think Seattle will win, but it's going to be interesting. I think it's a good matchup.
Seattle and the Patriots?
Yeah, Seattle and the Patriots. That's who I thought would win, although I'll be honest with you, I was cheering for the other two teams, but, what the heck. So there you have it. Super Bowl is set 2 weeks from yesterday.
Thanks for being on briefly, Dana. We love you.
And there you go. Thanks, Dana. Hi, bye. And catch us tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Dr. Perry and Tasha, I think, just decided 7 o'clock. I don't think Melissa's against it either.
No, it's 9 o'clock in Atlanta right now.
It's cold. Is it still cold over there, Melissa? I heard you guys got some pretty good stuff, weather yourselves. But anyway, so back to the being kind of lifesavers today. It didn't turn out we had to, but we got ready and prepared. And what I thought was kind of cool was a neighbor reaching out to a neighbor. And it made me think, when's the last time neighbors reached out to neighbors? And I'm saying, when's the last time I reached out to a neighbor? I'm not sure I have.
Well, you talked to this neighbor a little bit this way and that one.
Yeah.
And the one across the street when they're out because you're friendly and do the yard and stuff. But
well, I'm guessing it's something like.
Yeah, ours is too, Melissa. We're gonna drop tonight, so it's gonna be a little concerning in the morning because the temperatures are dropping tonight again, and people got out on the roads a little bit today. So tomorrow morning's a little concerning.
Well, not a lot. They got out on the roads, but I wouldn't say a lot. The roads are still terrible.
Thank you, Chris.
Kind of give me
up at 4 a.m. for work.
Oh wow! Kind of give me an example. A 3-lane road basically had 2 tire tracks in the center of the 3-lane road. So, it was, I don't know, we were one of maybe, I don't know, do you think we saw 100 cars?
No,
I don't
20.
think. Yeah. Well, we drove on Eldorado and Preston, which are 2 main roads.
We just did one little circle.
Yeah, normally there's 500 cars within 3 blocks in that one little circle. So, just kind of give you a perspective. They're major roads, but the roads are still terrible. It's still cold. I think it's the last weather report I saw for Dallas, and I don't think it's really much different. Obviously, northern, you're cold. You're cold. Atlanta, I think you're going to be a little bit warmer than us. You're more, to the east and south of us. You're going to be a little bit warmer than us, but I think the general consensus is it's going to warm up a little bit during the day and freeze overnight. So keep those pipes dripping, stay warm, stay cold, check on your neighbors.
We didn't either, Chris. We were expecting it to be way worse, but that's good that it wasn't as bad as they said. So.
Oh, I think it was every bit as bad, but.
You need to pull your chair this way a little bit.
anyway, I'm sliding over.
There you go.
So anyway, it wasn't great, but I don't think we got the quite the precipitation that they were calling for. Although there's a 2-foot sleet drift out in my backyard. The puppies love it too.
They love the snow. They're just having a blast, rolling in it.
Yeah, rubbing their faces in it. You name it. But anyway, so
you got your stock market report and you got your
I got everything.
sports report.
Oh,
Did that take you 10 minutes? You've been yakking for 10 minutes. So what I thought we would do, since this is our first official Monday through Friday evening happy hours, I thought we would tell our story briefly. Hey, Ashley, we're going to tell our story, but briefly in the PG version, because it's a story of redemption.
Well, then you're going to do all the talking.
And we took it absolutely took God to put it together.
Amen.
We had to have God to put this together. And we want to tell our story, and we're on here, and we do this because we want people to feel hope.
Yep.
We want you to know that no matter how old you are, no matter what you've been through, that it's never too late to turn around and turn around your whole life. So we turned around not just these 2 lives, but the trajectory for our kids and our grandkids.
Amen.
And the ripple effect out into the world is still happening.
Well, if God can do this through us, he can do it in anyone.
Yes, God can redeem people, hearts, and relationships. And we were definitely not perfect when we met, not even anywhere near that. But we were willing. We were in a place where so much had happened that we were willing to surrender to whatever it took to make our lives better. And that was number one.
Yeah, and I agree. And I tell you why we were willing. We were both, for lack of a better word, we were both tired of living the life that we were living, and we were looking for a new direction. And I think God played every part of that in getting us started in the right direction. And in 20 days, about 3 weeks, we'll be sober for 8 years.
Hey, Connie, I watched you today. I love the sweets. They've got some great stories going on up there in Sarnia. At Limitless up there. Limitless is doing so good. But, oh, what were you saying?
I'm basically saying 8 years next month. It started with us literally pushing away the alcohol, which we both suffered tremendously from.
But I don't want our talks to always be about alcohol, because there were so many pieces. I lost my mom in 2000. He lost his mom in 2016. And we are certain that our moms got together up in heaven and had a little conversation and said, what are we going to do with these two? Threw us together. And that's how it started, because we were on our last leg.
No question about
Both
it.
of us. We if we hadn't met and made the choices that we made, I'm not sure if we would even be here.
I don't think I would be. I'm almost sure of it.
Our health was terrible. We were overweight. We were having panic attacks. It was a nightmare. But we want to tell you about our testimony briefly, because it's so good what God can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I know maybe everybody's heard it, and maybe there's a lot of people that have heard it multiple times, but it's just so good what God can do, because it's not about performing. And we just had been through so much loss, divorce, trauma, surviving. And I had basically a complex form of PTSD. And it was strong. I was hyper alert. My nervous system didn't know how to relax and rest without alcohol. Mm-hmm. I was coping. Alcohol was the answer, and alcohol was the solution. That's how I was making it. That's how I was getting by. That was what was keeping me going. and my nervous system was whacked because I had had an abusive situation and just so much trauma. And a picture popped up today, you know, where you have those memories and it says, this is you 9 years ago. And this is, you know, so pop in a picture from today. So I put in a new picture and it's like, well, 9 years ago in 2017 in January, I was about to go into the worst, last, most traumatic event with that person. And it just, you know, Lisa Hyman came on and said, I want you to know that you were still beautiful in this picture. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I might look beautiful to you in that picture, but the memory of that picture is so painful. It's such a stinger. But to put the two pictures side by side, I can almost cry. I wasn't expecting that. But to have the two pictures right by each other and have this gorgeous picture of me in all the hot pink, just being at Real Talk Kim's conference and just have had the opportunity to talk and tell a little bit of our story on stage and to be able to sing my 2 songs that I wrote and talk about how, you know, you're a saint in my life, and just to see those two next to each other, it is amazing what God can do. And we're never going to stop telling that story because what God did in our lives got so good, we couldn't keep it to ourselves anymore. Yep. We had to start telling people, and we just want people to know that God, if he can do it for us, he's absolutely going to do it to you, for you. Hey, Angel.
Yeah. You know, you kind of heard her half, you know, then I come in bringing in my, you know, my life. I don't know, how would you say it?
Well, you weren't here to fix me, but you learned me, you know, because you learned how to handle me. And we need good men in the world. We need good men in the world. And I love how wonderful that Darren is, and not just to me and my kids, but to my dad, to Uncle Jimmy, helped him out with his car last week. And this is not bragging on Darren, but it's bragging on the Jesus in Darren, because when you have gone through so much, now we have been healed, and so we are healers. That's the way God works. And so the Holy Spirit, the way they have healed us, allows us to help heal other people. And he learned how to deal with me and how to handle me. And it wasn't easy. It was not easy because I was still looking over my shoulder and watching where I parked, where I drove. You know,
I'm not laughing at that, but I do want to tell the shoebox story.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking about that today too.
Yeah, so when she bought new pairs of shoes, she would keep the shoe boxes in a separate part of the closet. Finally, after her closet was, you know, we got terrible closets here. So to fill up our closet takes like 2 minutes. We can go to Walmart and buy 5 shirts and our closet's full. But I was like, why are you keeping these shoe boxes? What was your answer?
In case I have to run away.
Yeah.
And I have to sell my shoes, because what happened is, and this is not like a brag on our story, but Darren would go to the bar in the very early part of our relationship, and he would give me his credit card and I would go shopping. So I was putting myself back together and my life back together, and I was buying, you know, some nice, decent shoes that I had never had, you know, and I was keeping the box in case I had to sell them, in case it didn't work out with me and Darren. So it was actually, you know, a couple of years into it. I want to say it was like 2.5, 3 years into our relationship. Pretty sure we were married. And I finally decided it was okay, that it was safe to throw away all the shoe boxes. And so he saw me carrying them out to the dumpster, and he's like, what is all that? Because he didn't even know I had them. And then he's looking in my closet like, what were you doing? I was stockpiling in case this didn't work out and I had to sell my shoes.
But the weird thing about it is I actually kind of understood it.
Yeah.
I didn't make a big deal of it.
No.
I may have made a few jokes because that's just how I am.
He was very sweet about it.
Yeah, but I actually understood it because, you know, both of our lives prior to meeting each other, we had so many highs and many more lows. And the lows, I mean, you talk about the devil attacking. Wow. You know, low as the low can go. I'm not. I remember one part. I think I was just, a fine line between having a place to live and being homeless. So I remember sleeping out on a tennis court one time. Yeah, I do. I remember that.
I don't want to talk about all the.
No, I'm not going through that. But I'm just saying, it can happen to anyone.
It happens to anybody. It happens to the best of us. When I go through what my life was like when I was younger, like my parents were amazing. I was in every sport. I was in ballet. I was a cheerleader. I was an honor student. I was in student council. I was, in the paper. I was honor this, honor that. I was in a sorority. My life was amazing. I had one of those lives that people may have been jealous over my life, because it could have seemed like I had everything. And then one thing turned into another thing, to another thing. And before you know it, there you are.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. And I don't think people, there's a lot of people out there that don't understand. And so that's why we do this, is to tell all the parts.
Yeah. And we want to hear your parts too.
So our relationship didn't start out like just all about chemistry, but it started out more like alignment. It started out because you get older and you're like, okay, I didn't trust myself or my decisions. He's making he's gonna say something raunchy. Here we go. What?
I got nothing yet.
So what? I can't even think or remember what I was going to say, because you're about to say something.
No, you're going on to a good point. I'm listening.
Well, it wasn't just about having the hots for each other.
It was for me, because she's hot.
Well, it wasn't just about that. But like the first 6 months, we spent hanging out at your apartment, just laughing and talking and telling all the stories, to where we started to learn each other and learn the stories, and we could tell the stories. Like he would say, his mom called him Bud, and my grandfather was named Bud. And then I have a mother named Kathy, and his grandmother was named Kathy. My mother's maiden name is James. His middle name is James. Our grandson's middle name is James. And so we just had all these little things like that. And eventually we would.
And I look like your grandpa?
And he looks like my mother's father. And so there's just all these little connections. And so we just spent 6 months just laughing and talking.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I know why we did that. Because we haven't been able to laugh and talk for years prior to that. And especially, we didn't totally quit drinking at that time. But we were getting better with it. I don't know.
We were. I was trying to drink a lot.
She was trying really hard.
And I talked to him about Celebrate Recovery and AA, and he said AA's for a bunch of quitters. Like
every asshole says.
And flipped back in his lounge chair. And
well, for whatever reason, I didn't want to admit that. Actually, looking back at it, I can tell you, I just didn't want to admit that I really had a problem. I thought
nobody wants to admit that.
Well, I know that now, but I just I tell you what, it's because it's what I say to people on here all the time, it was embarrassing, blah blah blah. And I'll never forget that one day I told you, I said, I'm ready. I'm going to AA with you. She thought I was full. Yeah, but it led to that part. But I remember why it took me just a little while. I was just like, I didn't have the right attitude. Number one, number two, I don't know. I was afraid of changing my life. I think that's what it was. I was taking on a little more with you and your kids.
We had just started some companies.
Yeah.
You had started those companies. And what I did do that did work, though, was I said, can I watch this church on a Sunday online on his TV? And I was watching it, and he was doing his Sunday fun day, whatever he does.
No, I was watching it with you.
Well, but you had your computer out doing, whatever you do.
I don't remember,
but what happened?
I cried through the whole thing. and I've told the pastor this long after. I said, I still to this day have no idea what he said. No idea what he was preaching. I just cried through the whole thing.
And that was what gave me hope, because I thought, okay, that was the Holy Spirit working on him. So,
and I wasn't just sniffling like a dude tries to hide. I was crying. I was flat out crying.
it was getting to him, and that was beautiful. So that's what changed.
Mm-hmm.
That was a turning point for us. And I remember telling him before we got married, I said, Darren, you have no idea what you're getting into. And he goes, yes, I do. He didn't.
I know exactly what I said. Bring it on.
Bring it on. Yep.
Bring it on.
And that was his
And you've
attitude.
all heard me say that if you've watched us more than once. If there's an issue or an ism, problem to be taken care of that affects our life, I will say bring it on every time. And you know why? Because I don't like walking away from stuff. Not, the stupid petty stuff I will, but
Ashley has 6 months. Way to go, Ashley.
woo-hoo! Way to go,
That's
Ashley.
amazing.
Hey.
So we were strong people with surrendered hearts. We were just I mean, that's the one thing that happens when you get to the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, is that you got nothing to lose.
Oh, yeah.
You got nothing to lose,
Yeah.
and it's nowhere but up.
Yeah.
So there was times when my anxiety would take over and panic would come across. And like, I remember having this spray and this roller ball that they were either lavender, vanilla, or eucalyptus. And I would spray it on my hands, and I would have to breathe when I was having a panic attack in my car. And I would do that all the time. And he didn't know, but sometimes it would happen at the house. And his reaction is what helped heal me, because he didn't react like, WTF. He wasn't loud, and he didn't overreact, and he didn't dismiss me. Because I was doing counseling, and the guy was telling me, you got to describe the room you're in, and you got to redirect yourself. And I would have to tell him, Darren, I need you to hold me. I need you to hug me. I need you to tell me that everything is going to be okay. And I would have to tell myself, like, I live in this new place. I live in a beautiful home. I live with Darren. I'm okay. He's okay. My kids are okay.
And I did it.
And he did it.
I did it, but here's the funny thing, that she didn't have to tell me to do that. I would have done it. She didn't have to tell me to do all that crap.
I did have to tell him what I needed, because he was a fixer and he wanted to just fix everything, and he was fixing everything. But also, if I was having a PTSD moment and I was terrified and traumatized, and I'd get angry, and I'm just gonna blah blah blah, and I'm gonna blah blah blah. And what did you say? When I got feisty, you would say, "Sit down, tiger."
Sit down, tiger. Slow your roll.
You're not going to do any of that. And he would say it in a lighthearted way, in a funny way, and it would make me laugh.
Well, I didn't want. I know why I knew that, because I didn't want to sound. You were in a mad, pissed off way. I didn't want to respond to you in a mad, pissed off way, because I know what that does. It makes it worse. You all know that. You attack anger with anger, or you fight anger with anger, it's going to be nothing but anger and all of what's going to hit the fan and blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know, but I wasn't really trained that way. I think I just kind of figured it out myself. I'm like, first of all, when I hear yelling and screaming, that's when, if I can't get through, that's when I don't want to say I run away, but I will step in the other room until the yelling and screaming stops, and then re-engage.
Or you'll get in the car, drive to the casino, drive around the block, go to the gas station.
I haven't driven the casino in how many years?
No, but you did a couple of times.
Well, that was in case I need to stay overnight. I knew I had a free room. So
it started out a little crazy. It started out a little, rambunctious.
We make it sound funny, but let me tell you something. At that particular point in time, it was the furthest thing from funny.
It was not funny.
It
but
was ugly.
we're just trying to paint a picture of the reality. And it made a huge difference that you could reassure myself, because when you have PTSD, you have to retrain your body that you're going to be fine. Because your body, we have fascia all over, and that's part of our nervous system. And so anytime you're in a situation that looks like or smells like or sounds like or feels like another situation in the past that was terrible, it can take you there that fast. And so I had to retrain myself. And you were really good at helping me with that. That's what I want people to know, because I'm sure it can be really frustrating to be in your shoes and have this chick that's flipping herself out.
Yeah, well, it's tough for anybody, right? I mean, I guarantee it was tough on you when I didn't want to quit drinking when you did. Or I don't know. I think there's probably, if I really sat down and thought about it, I'm sure there's many, many, many more occasions where it was tough on her. I made it tough on her.
Well, for a few months, you would keep going to the bar, and I was trying to stay sober.
Well, that's what I meant.
I was doing 100 days sober, 75 days sober.
But we really didn't know each other then. I mean, we just didn't. Well,
we were still trying to figure stuff out, for sure.
We were trying to get rid of the old and come in with the new. But we knew if we came into the new situation like we did the old situation, she'd be talking to someone else on one of these things, and I'd probably still be in a bar dead.
But some of that stuff is like when you're triggered, it's just a reaction. And so changing that stuff in a moment, in an instant, is not easy, but it can be done, and it's doable. That's why you got to work through it and be tender with each other. And you can't rush your healing. You can't get frustrated and mad, but you can't minimize the pain, because there was real abuse.
Yeah.
And so you can't minimize it. You can't dismiss it. And
Dr. Pepper, you said something earlier about the yelling and screaming, and you, because of your childhood, abusive childhood.
Dr. Perry.
Yeah.
You called her Dr. Pepper.
That's because you were drinking a Dr. Pepper.
He saw my drink and called you Dr. Pepper. Dr. Perry.
It might stick. Who knows?
She said it was crazy at the hospital with the flu. I was telling her when I had the flu, and she said it was crazy up there.
Well, I had it too.
Oh, yes. He had it, a milder version, but he had it.
I was down for weeks. I'm still down.
I got Tamiflu.
What made me take a 3-hour nap today?
I don't know, but I watched the whole season of all the seasons. Was there 5 or 6 or 7 of Emily in Paris? It was so good.
Really?
I watched every season.
Huh.
You were doing something else. Your brother's name is Pepper? I have a brother named Pepper.
She does. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have a brother named Pepper too. So God was teaching us rhythms and how to slow down and not escalate things. You got to learn your own rhythm and how to function in your own rhythm with their rhythm, because like you got your own pace. Right? Like Darren can do 15 things all around me in the same amount of time that I can do one thing.
And, honey, I've seen you. Well, yesterday is a great example. You sat down and wrote a book.
That was on Saturday.
Okay.
I did.
It would take me 3 years to write a book.
I finished a rough draft.
Yeah, right.
100.
I jokingly
I think it was
yelled.
117 pages.
We're upstairs right now, but I was downstairs and I yelled up at her. She was sitting right here. I said, "What chapter are you on?" And I was meaning to joke because I figured she would say, chapter 1. What'd you say? Like chapter 6?
6.
I was like, what?
9, 10, But it's just a rough draft. I have to go back and, put some more. Yeah, when you get in the flow and you're just like moving and shaking and the whole world was down. So everything was quiet. The girls couldn't go anywhere. They were under control of the house. So, I had time and energy and it was awesome. And then yesterday I read 3 books. We just have different things we do.
Dr. Pepper,
Dr. Perry.
Sorry, Dr. Perry. Pepper might stick. I'm sorry, so I hope it's not insulting me. Dr. Perry, I can cook dinner for 6, have it all cleaned up, trash taken out, 3 loads of laundry, and change the light bulbs, and I can be done in less than 2 hours. Oh, yeah, and I can put my fantasy line.
And feed the dogs
and
pay all the bills in like 1 hour.
Well, maybe 2.
Yeah, you have a new nickname, Dr. Pepper. We had what do you call those? What do you call those guys in the football that like a PT person? We had one named Dr. Pepper in high school. They if you get injured and something.
PT person.
Yeah, like physical therapy for the sports team. His name was Dr. Pepper, and he just died a couple days ago from high school. Anyways, God has to rewire us. God has to rewire us.
You're pretty wired right now. I don't know.
And so we start to respond different. We start to communicate. Sports medicine doctor. Yeah. His name was Dr. Pepper. He just passed away last week.
I'm sorry.
So we learned to respond. He was so cool, so funny, so great. But we communicate different. And also it's about staying in the present. That's why my counselor would have me describe the room I'm in. So when you're angry or you're having a PTSD or a trigger or a trauma reaction, or you want to drink, then you say, look, I am almost 8 years sober. And so is Darren. And we've been through too much to go back and mess it up, because we were a shit show. Forgive me for my language, but I don't know how else to describe. I can't think of a nice way.
Shit. Potty mouth. You don't ever hear me cussing.
It was a messy, stinky, dirty show.
I guess that's a shit show. I can't argue with you on that.
But God was our anchor. God was our anchor. He was at the center, and that was what kept us solid. And we were, so it's not that we didn't have hots for each other, because we did. But what I was trying to say earlier about, it wasn't all about that. It was more like intentional love. It was intentional love. We were intentional about our time, our energy, our getting sober, because we're not hardcore AAers, because I didn't drink all my whole life. I started when I was 35. It was about 10 years. 7 was terrible.
Well, that doesn't matter.
But we did about 3 years of AA. So we did AA, but God was the anchor.
And by the way, we still yes. And that God was definitely the anchor, but we strongly support AA. So, I don't want to interject any
But
faults.
even where we are now, we're still growing, we're still changing, we're still learning, and we still choose humility.
And we still talk to the people at AA.
For sure, yeah.
So,
it's a great network of people that help each other out, genuinely.
I always say, if AA doesn't work for you and some other thing does, well, hopefully God's involved in all of it. I'll emphasize that. Hopefully God's involved in all of that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll have a lot of people argue with me that AA is the only thing. No, it's not. There are some things where AA works great for a lot of people, but there are also a lot of other things that work great for a lot of people. My point is, find what works for you.
Yes, you got to find what works for you. And we just want people to know, if they're out there, can I really heal?
Yes.
Yes. Can love be safe?
Yes.
Yes. not all the guys are bad dudes. Darren tells me all the time to tell the women that there's good guys out there. My dad's amazing. Darren is amazing.
You know, there's a lot of great guys out there.
There is.
And you know, there are a lot of great guys out there that are scared to death of
women.
Yes.
Rightly so.
Right. You know, so, but I can tell you a great place to probably meet them at. You know what I'm going to say. Y'all know what I'm going to say.
Bar.
Church.
The bar.
Church. Yes, we met at a bar.
Will you hand me that water, please?
She had to get me drunk. And it worked.
No, he was drunk every day of his life back then. We're not telling those stories though right now. But nothing. I'm just pouring water. Nothing in your past. Nothing in your past disqualifies you for anything. I've heard about people saying they were afraid to go to church because they were afraid that lightning was going to strike them in the church.
Oh, well.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
Well, besides that, I've heard people say they're afraid to go to church because they're too embarrassed to go to church because of their past. Let me tell you something. Just about everybody in that church that goes to church has a story to tell. And some of them are gruesome as you can imagine. But they didn't quit.
The same people at the church are at the bar. I mean, not all the time and not all of them. But there's plenty of people that are at the bar that go to church.
Yes. I think you say something about that.
That's right. Just don't buy it, Ashley. Limitless needs more good men in the singles coming in. Okay, we're praying for that, Dr. Perry. God specializes in redemption, and redemption is lived. Redemption is choosing over and over and over how to be intentional with your time, be intentional about, like Ashley said, don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't buy it. Then you have to figure out different ways. I had rubber bands on my wrist and I would snap it all the time. And I would spray that stuff from Body Works on my hands. And then I had this other kind of roller ball like this. You can get them at a spa. You can even buy them at Amazon. And you just, this one is my anointing oil. It's frankincense and myrrh. And I just put it on my hands and then I bless you. Bless you.
You're rubbing oil all over me.
I'm trying to bless you. I'm not going to put it on your hat, but
that's all right. It's an oil
just, there's so many things that you can do to learn to redirect and calm down your nervous system.
I agree.
And so God specializes in redemption and restoring trust. I had to restore trust in myself because I didn't trust myself because I was a whole mess. I was making bad decisions. I was hanging out with the wrong people. I was getting black eyes.
Stuff smells kind of good.
It is. It's frankincense and myrrh, and you can buy these anywhere.
Honey, it could be Frank and Mario. I wouldn't know the difference.
Anyways, I'm telling people that are listening. So I had to restore trust in myself. I did not trust him because I didn't trust me.
Nah, he can't trust me.
And that wasn't fair. You know, like Kim says, bleeding on people that didn't cut us. I was definitely doing that. I remember my kids coming to me one time and saying, Mom, you cannot treat Darren that way. I don't remember what I was doing, but I was being a brat. In some form or fashion, and building what trauma tried to rip apart. You know, we're trying to like put the pieces back together, and it takes time.
Well, but here's the other thing,
and you got to keep choosing the right choices too.
I'm not gonna let you beat yourself up that hard. Yes, maybe brat, but she was being defensive because of past issues, relationships. She was just being defensive. You know what? I saw through all that. I saw through all of it, and I'm not patting myself on the back because she saw through all my shit too. So, you know.
I was so grateful when he said that to me.
Well, I remember her. I just remember her. She was on a tantrum or whatever.
I was freaking out.
And I'm like, and by the way, I'm going to say this because I think it's important. I fell in love with her, and here's what everybody thinks from outsider looking in, because she's very pretty, she's sweet, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not why I fell in love. I fell in love with her after I met her 3 kids. And those 3 kids were all very, very good kids. I mean, they were great. They're just role model kids if you ever want one. And I'm sorry, role model kids do not come from what she was pretending to be. So I called her out. I said, I see through all that shit. And I was like, this ain't you. I was like, this ain't you. Because she reminded me of my mother. My mother didn't do any of, any of the raving lunatic stuff. But my mother did everything that she did. But when she was calm, she was just like my mother in many ways. Matter of fact, I think she was more like my Aunt Judy. Because it kind of had.
She was a little more fun and crazy.
She was crazy for sure.
And fun.
Yeah, she was fun. But she'd call people out. My mom never called people out.
Your mom was too sweet. That was how I was before I met you.
But anyway, I just called her through her BS, and she called me through a lot of mine, I'm sure. But
I think that's one thing about when you meet when you're older is you don't mess around. Like, you don't have time to play games. And, if you're going to spend time with someone.
That's a theory that I've heard many, many, many times. There's plenty of time. I don't care if you're 70, 80. I don't care. There's time. Not everything has to end.
You don't want to waste time. That's what I was saying is you don't want to waste time playing games.
Well, no, I'm not saying.
We weren't going to do that.
No, I wasn't going to go on the dating game or anything like that. I wasn't online doing, what do you call it? Date stuff, online dating, whatever it's called.
Christian singles.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't have been on that one for sure.
No, what was the other? Bumble? I never did that one. Tumble? No, what was it? I don't remember.
All I remember is swipe left and swipe right, whatever that was. So, because
the ones I met were only after one thing.
Honey.
They were, and I wasn't interested in that.
I kind of stumped me there. No, I wasn't interested in either. Quiet, the birds. The birds. The
wow. I can't remember what it was even called.
I hear the crickets.
But anyways.
One night stands.
The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those in crushed in spirit. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18.
Right.
And 2 are better than 1.
Always.
And if either of them falls down, then one can help the other up. Ecclesiastes 4:9 and 10. And God is not a God of confusion, but God is a God of peace and order. And that was one of the first things I saw about Darren. His house was clean, and he was on top of his life. Even though you were a mess, there was things that you kept clean, and you were on top of stuff. And it was quiet. His house was so quiet. I loved that.
And then I brought her in.
To liven up the place.
Oh, it got livened up all right. That's for sure. No, well, you know what? I know there's a meaning behind that. I've always been a clean freak. My mom was. I'm sure I get that from her. Even I think everybody in my family was, really. But I think there's something to be said about that. I don't know what it is. The one thing I hate is clutter. And if your life is clutter, fix it. So I think that's kind of why I try to keep everything clean and uncluttered. I don't know. There's a deep meaning through it, I'm sure. But I think, and there's that old saying, get up and get dressed every day the way you want to feel.
If you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you look good.
Yeah. Well, I get up and throw my sweatshirt on,
Well, it says,
but I feel good.
it says something about the kind of person that you are when you keep things nice.
I'm sure.
And
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was like, I don't know. That's why I'm listening to you.
It does. And 1 John 4:18, it says, perfect love casts out fear. And so it's not being dominating over someone, and it's not controlling them, but it's being there to reassure them. And it's being their safe place. I told Darren he was my warm and sunny spot. And that I always wanted to be his warm and sunny spot in his life.
What did I tell you?
And so, what'd you say?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. That's why I'm asking.
Probably a bunch of lines of BS. No, my favorite thing was when you looked at me and said, all this that's happening to you is not who you are. And I needed to hear that so bad. Like he had no idea. And he saw me, like Dr. Perry said, you saw my heart and my spirit.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw in him, was his heart and his spirit. And that carried us through all this mess. It helped keep us going because we saw what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And we got there.
Mm-hmm.
And we made it happen with God as the anchor. And so a gentle answer turns away wrath. And so that's what was going on that was wrong in my other relationships. Is like when a woman is in a panic, you don't tell her to calm down. And you don't tell her to just shh. Because that will just will spin her up.
Yeah.
And spin her out. You don't tell her to be quiet. You don't tell her to calm down. And you, quite frankly, don't tell her anything what to do when she's in a freak out.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work. You got to hug her and love her. And
I mean, guys hate to tell you, but they outlawed tranquilizers. So
hug them and love them and call them George. But a gentle answer turns away wrath. So if we are dealing with someone like at the house, if they get high volume, I got to take my volume lower. And sometimes I'll just sometimes I don't always do good at that, but sometimes I'll just put my hand on her, any of them, and say, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to work it out. God is in the middle of that.
Yeah.
I know. It makes you feel not heard. You feel like nobody hears you, nobody sees you, and nobody cares what you're saying. So then you get louder and louder, and it spins you into a whole tizzy.
Well, and let me interject on something that when that happens, I promise you, louder and louder and louder will make that other person hear less, and less, because they are getting, I'll just say it, they're getting scared. They're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with this person.
I've had people tell me you're scary.
Well, I mean, anybody's scary when it goes like that. And it's like, and if you're on the other side listening to that, you want to get away from it as fast as possible. So you don't hear anything, or they don't hear anything. If it's me getting louder, I promise you nobody hears me, you know.
Yeah, I didn't handle that right in my first marriages.
But it's okay.
But I learned.
Everybody learns. And yes, you did learn. And by the way, that doesn't mean that the outbursts completely go away, because there are going to be problems that you're going to have that you don't know about yet.
Well, and some people just shut down.
I'm at fault.
I was fixing my hair.
I do not shut down.
Sometimes I have to pull it out of him. What's going on? What happened? And we have to be good at that too, because Dr. Pepper says that she just shuts down. And that's not good, because we have to talk through things. So we have to learn. We have to allow God in our lives to rewire our thinking, our responding, and let God retrain and how to love people where they're at. And so love is patient. Love is kind, and it is not easily angered. And so when we love people, it all goes back to that. If we love people well, then we will handle them better. And we will understand
Totally agree.
that no matter what's going on in their mind or their body or whatever they think is the greatest tragedy in the world and makes them want to shut down and walk away, that it's going to be okay. And so not the trick, but the answer is to find ways to help each other when I want to freak out and he wants to hide and run from me.
So speaking of shutting down, honey,
It's time to shut it down.
it's time to shut this down. We're going to be back tomorrow at what time?
7. We're going to change it online.
All right, 7 o'clock.
7.
7 o'clock.
The
It is
magic 7. Heaven 7.
7 o'clock. So I'm going to have to power through dinner.
So we're still growing. We're still learning. We're still choosing humility. And we still have peace. In Psalm 23, he restores my soul. And we steward our peace because that matters. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you all for being here.
Yes, tell everybody, come. We're fun. We're not gonna. I'm gonna make a corporate decision right now since I'm the CEO. She didn't object, so I'm CEO.
No, you're the CFO.
What's that?
You're the Chief Financial Officer.
I just want to make sure this. Anyway,
I'm the big picture vision girl, and you're the financial officer. You're the CFO. You could be the COO.
big picture vision girl, BPVG. You're the BPVG.
I'm the baby doll.
Okay. So anyway, 7 o'clock. But we want to keep this about God first, about helping others second, but we also want to have fun. I can't be.
Dr. Pepper loves us.
Yeah, baby doll can be holy all day. I can't. I gotta.
He can't be holy ever.
That's not
I'm
true.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I like to enjoy everything. I want you all to enjoy this. I want word to get out. I hope the word gets out. We do have great stories to tell, and
We love y'all.
Yeah, we do love
We
y'all.
love you, and we're so grateful that you wanted to be in here today. So, Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, precious Jesus, I ask you to be with all these women. I ask you to pull your presence, into their bedrooms, into their homes, into their cars, into wherever they at, where they're listening, and remind them who they are, that they are loved, that they are precious, and that God has a plan for your life. Ephesians 3:20, God will give you exceedingly abundantly, greater and more than anything you could have put together on your own. And Jeremiah 29:11, he knows the plans that he has for you, to prosper you and give you hope and a future, and not to harm you. So you are blessed beyond measure in every area of your lives, and we love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Have fun. Be
Bye.
safe and warm overnight.
Stay warm.